Hey, just a quick little video to show you guys how to make these cute little octopi. Octopus? Octopuses? Octopi? However you want to pronounce it. They're cute. It's a very simple pattern. All you need is some yarn. You can do it 1 or 2 colors, whichever you prefer. I'm going to show it in 2 colors. You need at least 1 stitch marker, a darning needle, 2 eyes. I'm using, I think these are 12 millimeters. Of course you need a crochet hook. And the size yarn I'm using, this is Honey Bunny Shine from Hobby. This one recommends a 7mm hook, but instead I am using a 5.5 just to be able to get a much tighter stitch so that none of the fluff is going to be poking out. And of course you need set fluff. It's like the teddy bear stuffing. Okay, and of course some scissors. So let's start. We're going to start by making a magic ring. Now I know a lot of people don't like magic rings, but I'll show you a very easy way to do this. So you take your yarn, you have the end in your left hand, loop it around your fingers, like so, stick your needle through, turn it, and take the yarn and pull it through. And there's your magic ring. What you want to do now, because this is chenille yarn, you want to pull this one out, because otherwise it's not going to flow well enough and the yarn is going to break. Put your fingers in here, tighten it slightly, tighten the back one slightly, and you're ready to go. You start with 8 single crochet into the magic ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and make sure you're crocheting over both of these. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then we do a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I actually did 9. Really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so I did 9. Let's remove 1. So you have 8 single crochets, and you have these 2 strands coming off. Leave the long strand that's attached to your yarn. Take the loose one. Hold your fingers right here. So form like make a little hole for that yarn to slide through, and pull. Now if it doesn't want to slide, because sometimes the yarn wants to get stuck, do that individually with the different sections. So put your fingers here and pull, put your fingers there and pull, so that you have less yarn trying to get stuck on this bit of your yarn, so it's easier to slide through, especially because these are 8 stitches that you want to pull through at the same time, so it can get stuck. Anyway, I'm rambling. Now we have 8 single crochet. You find your first one. Remember, it's not the one that you see down here, it's not this one, it's this right here. So this is your first stitch. Go ahead and insert your needle and create 16 single crochet in this round, which means you will make 2 single crochet in every stitch. 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to pull some yarn out just to make it a little bit easier. So 1, 2. Now that I have 2, it depends if you like using stitch markers or not, but you can go ahead and put your stitch marker into the first one you made in this round. This way you will always know where you need to stop and how many stitches you need to count. We'll go back to counting stitches anyway at the end. So 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, I think. But let's count. Not sure how well this shows up on camera because I am using white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yep, 16 stitches. Now, round number 3. We do 1 single crochet and then the next one a double, 2 single crochets. So you're increasing every other stitch, ending up with 24 stitches, 24 single crochets in total. So 1, and you can put your stitch marker in again. Let me just grab the yarn a bit better. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. So that's the last of our increases. Now we do 3 rounds with 24 crochets, so 1 single crochet in each stitch. At this point you can see as well mine has a little bit of a hat shape. So what you can do at this point, flip it over, grab that strand and gently pull it slightly tighter, which will make most of that hat disappear. Now if you get really big bulging, you need to switch up your hook size. You can go to a slightly bigger or slightly smaller hook just to see what kind of result you get. I always have the problem that I end up with a tiny little loop here in the back. So to fix that, I will weave this yarn through this little hoop just to put it into place so it doesn't come out. I'm just going to do that now. If you don't have a loop like this, you can just skip to the next section. So I pulled it tight. I'll go through the center. And just like any other stitch, I just put it there. So you barely see it. I'll go through that one. And finally, one of the third loops, and for those of you who don't know, this is the third loop of a single crochet that's in the back. So I'll pull it through the third loop, pull this a bit tight, and then through that one again, and now it's in place and it won't go anywhere. Lastly, I'll pull it to the good side, because we're going to need that end to tie it off with the other end of the yarn once we're done with this. So now I'm going to take my stitch marker out and I'm just going to count to 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, wait, more yarn, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, back there, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Now I'm not entirely sure if I miscounted there, so I'll show you a little trick how you can recognize your stitches, so you know that you have the right amount, because now we're just doing 24, 24. But what if you've made 23 or 25? You won't be able to see that because there's still always going to be 24 stitches. So let's have a look at the way your stitches look. You can see here we have an increase because there are 2 yarn sections of yarn going into the same. Let's see, can I show it a bit better here? You have 2 sections of yarn going into the same stitch. Let me actually get my needle. You see that little V that forms? That is 2 single crochets going into the same spot. So this is an increase. If I go up 1, I can see there's 1 here as well. So this is a single increase in my previous row, and we ended on a single increase, which means that the stitch above it is the last stitch of the row. So I actually made 25 in this row, because this is a single crochet, a single crochet. So that's number 1 of the next round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 1 more row to go. And make sure you don't do this row too tight, because otherwise it's going to be very difficult in the next row. You need that like extra space to be able to do the next row without too much hassle. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. At this point I put my safety eyes in, just to make it easier for me later on, so I don't have to fiddle around with it in the tiny opening. So this is where we started. So this whole round is going to be slightly off and wonky with how the stitches are lying in the rows. So the other side is going to be the face of my stuff, of my plushie. So I'm going to put one eye slightly off center there into the second to last row. So there. So this is the last row you made. We do not put it in there. We'll put it in the one above. The next eye goes 4 stitches to the side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 3 stitches in between the 2 eyes. Flip it around. Get your little caps. Make sure your cap is on the right way around. And push them in. Same with that one. Push them in. He's already got a personality. Alright, get your stitch marker. Now we're going to be crocheting in the back loops only of the next round. Or of the previous round. So we put a stitch marker in the front loop. And we're going to crochet a single crochet in the back loop. This is the underside of our little octopus, so we're going to need to decrease to close it off. So I like to do an invisible decrease, which is slightly more annoying to do than a normal decrease, but it looks a lot nicer. Apologies for my chair, it's squeaking. So, you take one loop, and again, these are the back loops. And you take another back loop. So now you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn under. I always yarn under on mine. You're welcome to do yarn over if that's what you prefer. And pull through 2 loops. And this is why I said don't do it too tight on the previous round, otherwise this is a nightmare. And then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And we'll do this 7 more times. Single crochet in the back loops only, an invisible decrease in the back loops only. Single crochet and an invisible decrease. We're halfway. Single crochet, invisible decrease. Oh, what's the yarn there? Single crochet, back loops only, invisible decrease. This is all the back loops. Single crochet, invisible decrease. If you find that you don't have enough space in your loops, and you have a hook like I have that has like a thicker part in the middle, you can just push that through a little, just to create a little bit of extra space. And that is sometimes enough to make it easier for you to pull it through. Single crochet, and the last invisible decrease of this round. Yeah, get it, there we go. There we have the first row of decreases. Now we're going to do one more row of decreases, and this is just 8 decreases in your stuffy. I will again do invisible decreases, but you're welcome to do any decrease type you like. For an invisible decrease, you now do the front loops only. If you do a normal decrease, it's just as you're used to doing it. So take 1, take 2, and decrease. 1, 2, and decrease. 1, 2, decrease. 1, 2, and decrease. Here's number 5, decrease. Number 6. Back on. Number 7, and the last one, number 8. You should have a small hole left. Last thing I'm gonna do to finish this off is create a slip stitch, and this is through both loops. I cut the yarn leaving about yay much. It's not an exact science. I pluck out the ends because I really do not like the way it sheds its fluff everywhere, and pull it through. So now you've got your little fluff that we need to stuff. So let's get some fluff and put it in there. Fluff, teddy bear stuffing, whatever you want to call it. Grab a decent handful, make sure you pull it into or pull it away from itself so that you don't have anything clumping up. Just make sure you pull it nicely apart. Now I like to hold this end just to make sure that I don't pull anything apart. And then just stuff it in there. Spread it around a little bit, don't overstuff. If you overstuff, your stitches will get bulked out and it'll be more of a round ball than a little flat thing, but if you understuff, it becomes way too squishy and flat. So this would be understuffing. I'll show you overstuffing as well, just so you can see the difference. So this one would be overstuffed, and as you can see, he's got a really wonky shape. And he's not really squishy, he's just like a hard lump. So I'm taking quite a bit out. Make sure to spread it around, and see how this eye is a bit crooked right now? I make sure that the back of the eye, because that has a little stick poking into the stuffing, make sure that goes in straight, because otherwise the eye will always be wonky. And there we go. There's your little floof. I keep saying floof, I don't know, it's a funny word. Now we need to close it off. So get your darning needle. Pull the yarn through. Now we're going to go into front loops only again. And we just did this one. This was your slip stitch. So we pull it tight. As much as it lets us. Sometimes your chenille yarn will do this. It'll lose a bit of fluff and then the inner string is exposed. Be careful you don't pull too hard on that, because then your chenille yarn will break. So we're going to go through the front loops. 1, 2, 3. Pull. Again, make sure you're holding those loops with your finger. And then 1, 2, 3. And the last one. And then you go through the center to the top where your other string of yarn came out. So make sure that you are in the same stitch and not slightly next to the stitch, so that you have a piece of yarn in between, because you need to tie these two off and hide them inside the body. So make sure it is the same hole. There we go. Give it a bit of a shape. I'm quite happy with that. So tying it off. See how that knot just disappears? 1, 2. I always do 2 knots. Cut the yarn. Get my crochet hook again. Stick it in somewhere on the side. Go through again that same hole. Loop the yarn around your crochet hook and ease it inside. Oh. So my stitch marker just fell out. So I'll show you how you can find it again, where you have to start for the arms. So we have a little guy now, but he's looking a bit sad without his arms. Now we made those single crochets in the back loops only, so now we need to work in the front loops. Don't know how well you can see, but you can see there's a line there. Those are the loops we're going to be working in. Go around to the back, and here you can see we have one loop right there, and the next one is higher up right there. So this one here, this one is where we're going to start. Pull your hook through and get whatever yarn you want to use. I'm using pink for this one, for the arms. Just pull up a loop, pull it through, pull up another loop, pull it through, and make sure you pull that tight. So now you have the yarn attached. Now we go to the one down here, the other one, remember, because this one was a lot lower. So we're going to attach these two together. I'm going to go in here. And just do a single crochet. There we go. Now let's make the tentacles. Depending on your yarn, it might be difficult to see, but every tentacle will use up 3 of these loops. We have a tentacle loop, and we have 2 loops in between where we'll do a slip stitch and a single crochet. So we just did our slip stitch, our single crochet, so now we need to do a tentacle, and for that we use a puff masker, because I like them puff maskers. Masker, that's Danish. Stitch, puff stitch. A puff stitch is a double crochet, which you'd normally do by yarning over, going through your work, picking up the yarn, going through 2 loops, and then again through 2 loops, but we are not doing that last pull through just yet. Instead, we are just going to make another one of those half-finished double crochets. We do 4 in total. If your yarn is a bit thinner, I recommend doing 5 so that it gets a little bit more volume. But my yarn is big enough to just do 4 of them. So I have 4 half-finished double crochets and the stitch from the single crochet from the previous stitch. So now I yarn over again, pull through all of these at the same time. You can see I put my thumb in there just to push them out a little bit, and then a chain 1 to close it off, to keep it all together. So there's your first little tentacle. Now we find the next stitch. We do a slip stitch. This is to ensure that they are nice and tight to the body, so you can really see the definition between the little stitches. You could do a slip stitch in the next one as well, but I dislike slip stitches, so I'm just doing a normal stitch. And then we do the puff stitch again. So 4 half-finished double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and pull through all of them and end up with a chain 1. Next stitch is a slip stitch, and then a single crochet, and then we're going to go do those 4 half double crochets again, and you do this for the whole round. So a slip stitch, a normal single crochet, and a puff stitch. And for that puff stitch, those 4 stitches are all in the same stitch. Make sure you're using the same stitch, otherwise you will not be able to fit all 8 tentacles. God, I really dislike slip stitches. I'm just going to finish the round and be back with you at the end. So here's my last puff stitch. That's 2. That's 4. Need a little bit more yarn. All 4, well, 5. So now I'm here, and you've used up all the front loops from that row that we're working in. So now we're just going to go into that very first one again, but first, before we do so, we are going to pull this yarn to the front. And I just went underneath one of the stitches. It doesn't matter if it's the one that you put it in or the one next to it, as long as you pull it to the front, which is like the inside of the body, underneath. I'm gonna go into that very first stitch, make a slip stitch. Cut the yarn. And pull through. Now we're almost done. We just need to hide this yarn away. So I take this one. I would suggest you first make a little knot here. Should have actually done that first. Just so that it doesn't come undone. Ah. It's easier without the needle. There we go. And then you just hide these ones inside the body. And to make sure that they don't come out, what I like to do is I put them in. I make one go through the fluff that's inside on the right way around and come out here somewhere. And the other one goes left way around. And then you make another knot and then you're done. Cut off that end. Get your crochet hook, just put it in somewhere and pull them through. There we go. And there you have it. There's your little octo. Hope you liked that. I hope you were able to follow along. If you have any questions regarding the pattern, please let me know. I have a one-pager available on my Instagram. That is the Crafty Fox Crochets with an S at the end. And I also have it on my Etsy store, although I think that's currently offline. But there's a free one available on my Instagram. I'll link it down below in the description as well. I hope you enjoyed it and have fun making your own little octos. Bye!